Have you ever felt that your mind never stops? That your thoughts take you in a never-ending spiral, analyzing everything, questioning everything, anticipating everything? That feeling of being trapped in your head, of thinking too much and not being able to find calm, is exhausting, frustrating, and in many cases, destructive. This cycle of overthinking not only drains your energy, but also robs you of your ability to enjoy the present moment, to experience life with serenity. Overthinking is like fighting an invisible enemy that is always one step ahead. And worst of all, for many men, this habit becomes a silent prison that affects their mental and emotional health without them even realizing it. Today we're going to break that cycle. We're going to understand why we think too much, how it affects us, and most importantly, what we can do to calm our minds and live more peacefully. This message is not just practical advice. It is an invitation to transform your way of thinking and, with it, your well-being. The habit of overthinking arises from a combination of emotional, cultural, and psychological factors that condition us from a young age. For many men, overthinking is linked to the pressure to solve problems, to make perfect decisions, and to meet expectations imposed on them from within and without. We grow up believing that being men means having all the answers, that showing doubt or uncertainty is a sign of weakness, that we must plan every step and anticipate every possible outcome to avoid mistakes. This conditioning leads us to become trapped in a cycle of constant analysis, trying to foresee every possible consequence and looking for solutions that, in many cases, don't even exist. But here's the problem. The more we think, the less progress we make. Instead of finding clarity, we find ourselves in doubt. Instead of finding peace, we find anxiety. Thinking too much becomes a silent enemy that disconnects us from reality and keeps us from happiness. One of the main reasons why we think too much is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of being wrong. This fear leads us to question our decisions, to analyze every detail and anticipate every possible outcome. We tell ourselves that we are being cautious, that we are thinking things through to avoid problems. But the reality is that this overthinking does not lead to solutions. Instead, it paralyzes us. It makes us doubt ourselves, makes us feel insecure, and prevents us from taking action. Fear of failure is a powerful force that, if we do not confront it, can dominate our mind and control our life. Another reason we think too much is the quest for perfection. We want to do everything right, avoid mistakes, prove ourselves capable, and meet the expectations we believe others have of us. But this perfectionism is an unattainable goal. No one is perfect, and the sooner we accept this reality, the easier it will be to free ourselves from overthinking. Perfectionism leads us to overanalyze every step, to postpone our decisions for fear of being wrong, and to get trapped in a cycle of doubts that prevents us from moving forward. Learning to accept our imperfections and take action even when things are not perfect is a key skill to overcome overthinking and find calm. Overthinking can also be a way of avoiding our emotions. When we feel insecure, overwhelmed, or hurt, it is easier to focus on our thoughts than to face what we are really feeling. We tell ourselves that we are analyzing things, looking for answers or trying to understand the situation. But in reality, we are using thinking as a way to avoid emotional pain. This approach does not solve our problems. Instead, it perpetuates them. It takes us away from our emotions and prevents us from processing them in a healthy way. To calm our mind, we need to learn to face our emotions directly, to allow ourselves to feel and to find ways to process them without fear. The impact of overthinking on our lives is significant. It robs us of time, energy, and happiness. It makes us feel exhausted, anxious, and disconnected. But more worryingly, if we don't deal with it, it can lead to more serious problems, such as insomnia, chronic stress, and difficulties in our personal relationships. Overthinking makes us lose sight of the present moment, distances us from the people we care about, and prevents us from enjoying the simple things in life. It is a silent enemy that acts from within, and the only way to defeat it is to confront it directly. So what can we do to calm our minds and stop overthinking? The first step is to recognize that we are stuck in this cycle. If you find yourself going over the same idea, second-guessing every decision, or worrying about things that are out of your control, it is a sign that you are thinking too much. This recognition is critical because it allows us to stop and redirect our attention. We need to learn to say to ourselves, "I've thought about this enough. Now it's time to let it go." A powerful technique for calming the mind is the practice of mindful breathing. When you feel stuck in your thoughts, spend a few minutes focusing on your breathing. Inhale deeply, hold the air for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly. This process not only helps relax your body, but also brings you back to the present moment, taking you away from the mental chaos of overthinking. Mindful breathing is a simple but effective tool for finding calm in the midst of clutter. Physical exercise can also be an effective way to release excess thinking. Whether it's running, yoga, or simply taking a walk outdoors, physical movement allows you to release pent-up energy, reduce stress, and reconnect with yourself. Exercise not only benefits your body, but also has a positive impact on your mind, helping you to clear it and focus on the present moment. Writing is another useful tool for calming your mind. When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, take a few minutes to write down what you are thinking. This process allows you to release those ideas, put them in perspective, and find clarity. You don't have to write something elaborate. Simply writing down your thoughts can help you organize them and reduce the emotional intensity they generate. It's also important to learn to set mental boundaries. If you find yourself thinking too much about a specific situation, set a time limit to reflect on it. Spend a few minutes analyzing the problem, but then decide that you are not going to continue thinking about it. This allows you to take control of your thoughts, rather than allowing them to control you. Finally, connecting with others can be an effective way to calm your mind. Talking to someone you trust, sharing your concerns, and listening to the perspectives of others allows you to release some of the emotional weight you carry. You don't have to face your thoughts in solitude. Human connection reminds us that we are not alone, that we all face challenges, and that support is always available. If you have ever felt that your mind is working against you, I want you to know that there are ways to change this. Overthinking doesn't have to define your life or control your well-being. With practice, tools, and support, you can learn to calm your mind and live more serenely. Your well-being matters, and there is always hope for transforming the way you think.